All right, my friends, today is February the 3rd. It is Monday, a couple hours into the New York session. Let's do the market outlook and plans for the week ahead. Okay, so before I get into the outlook, I want to start off by saying hopefully everybody made it out of that okay. Hopefully you guys saw my updated Friday plans where I talked about the 102 stuff. It was just pretty crazy because just maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours max after I shared that plan, you saw it start to materialize. Hopefully everybody saw the call to hedge and play defense and stuff. So yeah, I mean that was pretty brutal. That was definitely a capitulation event of sorts, which I'll explain more in the video later on. But yeah, just hopefully everybody made it through that okay. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. Let's start off with the macro. First and most important question on everyone's mind with the macro is, do I still think we're going to go up? What's my thoughts on the trend? And yo guys, hit that like and subscribe button for me. Appreciate it. Hopefully this isn't a surprise to any of you. Nothing's changed. That was a pretty brutal sell-off, but this does not affect us on the macro scale in any way. Macro trend is still very, very healthy on Bitcoin. We're going to talk about altcoins in a very different way today, but the trend on Bitcoin still looks very, very good to me. And it would not surprise me at all if we saw higher prices in a month or two here. So no significant changes on the whole macro trend outlook. A few different things I want to discuss though. First thing is going to be the Trump meta. So we've already talked about this on a couple different streams and outlooks, but we are in the Trump meta where information is going to be changing every day. You guys have already seen this, right? We go from bullish to bearish to bullish to bearish in a crazy whipsaw way right now. And that really can all just be chalked up to this, administration changeover. So what I introduced and what I'm going to continue to promote for right now is that you want to be very, very cautious about medium time frame stuff. And that really, I think that the best trading opportunities right now were going to be the lowest time frame being intraday, where you're just playing the quick moves, and then the macro opportunities, right? Outside of that, if you're trying to hold on to a trade for 3 weeks, the environment we're in right now is going to crush you. So that kind of medium time frame trading is just totally, not something I'm going to be applying myself. And I would urge you guys to be careful with that as well, just because, you sit in a trade for a week and a half, things are looking great, new piece of information comes in, and boom, everything changes. It's now a dog shit trade. And if you don't act quickly, that great trade becomes a loss. As far as levels go, so the most important levels for me are going to be 90K, 100K, 120K. Nice, even round numbers. In reality, when we're talking about like 90K, for example, we did bounce basically off 90K, but it really is for me like a range of 92 all the way to I drew that terribly, 92 all the way down to like 88. This is kind of the bottom zone. Same kind of logic applies for 100K, add $2,000 to either end of it, and the same thing for 120K. 120K doesn't really matter since we haven't been there yet, but for these levels that we've already interacted with a lot, I always add, $1,000 or maybe $2,000 on either end and play it more of a range or a zone rather than some magical fucking line that we're going to bounce or reject off of, right? So right now, bulls need to reclaim 100K. If bulls reclaim 100K and we, see some strength up here, I mean, the structure this is not terrible looking structure, right? This is our classic meme triangle structure that we're, developing here. Us trading into these lows, the sentiment shifts have been wild down here, but the reality is it hasn't really changed anything with the macro trend that I'm trying to follow. So those are the levels. So medium time frame. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, this area is significant medium time frame resistance, right? There's a million levels we could draw here, different VWAPs, different composite structurings, whatever. There's so much resistance from 99 to maybe 103K right now. So if bulls can get above this zone, then I am going to be very optimistic about us trading higher. But while we're below this area, I'm concerned that this is going to be hard for us to get through, and that I'm potentially going to be taking another risk-off trade just to defend myself, right? A lot of trading isn't about the gains, right? I know everybody, that's the sexy part of trading. Everybody loves seeing the 200% returns and all this stuff, but far more important than that is the ability to defend yourself, play defense, and not go into extreme drawdown, right? What we just saw, I saved myself from a lot of pain. Especially, how we had, I was going to talk about this in the altcoin section later on, but, I had advertised that I had de-risked, you know, a lot of the meme stuff. You know, I still have exposure to these things, but I did across the board size them down relative to my Bitcoin stack because the justification was no longer there. But we'll talk about that more later on. So that's the risk on, risk off kind of argument, 100K variance kind of argument. You know, if we can get above 100K, you know, then maybe I'll be optimistic again. But right now I'm actually leaning more towards wanting to shift back to being risk off again and just, you know, trading out the range. So yeah, that's that. The sentiment that we've seen in this range has been insane. And we're going to move over into altcoins here in a minute, and that's obviously one of the better sentiment conversations to have, but it's just truly been wild to see this kind of split in our market. We've never seen this before, where this has been an insane bull market for some people, and this has been basically an absolute bear market for the other side of the market, right? But, you know, those who trade large caps and know how to filter for strength are having the time of their lives, and then everybody else that just is a dartboard trader is just in just perpetual drawdown. It's just a wild thing. So the sentiment shifts that we've seen, I mean, imagine, like, you know, what did our timeline look like just a few hours ago, right? When we were, you know, at 92K, and now we're at 98K, and I'm not really on Twitter much right now, but, you know, I'm sure that, like, what you saw then versus what you saw now, or, you know, or what you were seeing a few days ago, or what you were seeing over here when, you know, we called this in the group, right? That the sentiment shifts that we're seeing are just fucking insane. I've never seen this wild of a whipsaw where it's so over. You know, we always meme about that. It's so over, it's so back, right? And that's always going to be the case because people react to price moving rather than kind of try to preempt, you know, things a little bit more. Yeah, it's just, it's been wild. It's been truly wild. I don't think that I've seen this dramatic of a shift in sentiment and of a divide between basically the Bitcoin camp and the altcoin camp. Pretty insane stuff. As far as just a little bit of a yap about some of the alts that are actually interesting to me, most of them are piss, right? So we already kind of know that. As far as large caps go, I still like Solana. Solana absolutely just got like slammed down, but basically everything did. Solana's market structure still looks good to me. And, you know, I don't really have any issues. Nothing's going to have good medium time frame structure right now because of how brutal that was. But I could see Solana still being a winner in 2025. This is still my second largest bag behind Bitcoin. But anyways, that's it for me this week. Good luck out there. Definitely be sharing updates in the group around, you know, any sort of positioning changes. If we send a hedge here soon, I will update you guys on that as well. Potentially looking for a swing long play. You know, if we, you know, I didn't talk about this earlier, but if we were to maybe do some sort of pullback, I potentially would be looking for an opportunity to go long again on derivatives, but that's a little bit, you know, a little bit further off in the distance, so I wasn't prioritizing that for the video today. But anyways, that's it for me. Good luck out there. Cheers.